And we're live. Gonna clean up for a bit. Steel 440 clone. I built this, and I worked on this saw before. You guys may or may not be familiar with the history on it. You might be more familiar with the history than I am, because I don't remember. I do remember having all kinds of issues with getting it together properly. So, for those people doing this for the first time and watching this later, it's a whole lot of boring. For those people that can watch during, it's a whole lot more fun. And yeah, that's pretty much how this goes. So I can get the other phone hooked up here, that way I can see comments. So if anybody has more information on this, that would be great. We're going to play a little bit here, you know. Evening, James, Timmy. I'm going to bring you up on the phone here. I just want to see, so I can see comments. Otherwise, I have to go around the other side and I can't see anything. Okay. Yeah, happy July 4th to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good old time. Having fun and being safe and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, right now we're back on this bench for whatever reason, but we'll leave that alone. Well, let me show you guys the issue. For some reason, it's darn hard to push the choke. Quick question, will that wrap handlebar work on the 461? I do not know off the top of my head, no. It's just tough. I don't know why it's tough, but I think the toughness of it, because you have to hold the trigger down on these. I do not know if it'll fit on the 461. Or the 461. Unfortunately, I doubt it. I would say I doubt it. Pate's Performance. Evening. Thank you for the plug on the on your chainsaw video there. And yes, you definitely make more money than me on chainsaws. Well, considering you, at least percentage-wise. So, yeah, this one's kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of a hard push. And what's more interesting is that if I take this off, it's easier. Watch. So this saw does run, idle, all that stuff. It came back because he couldn't get started, but I suspect it was just the choke issue. I don't know for sure, but that's my suspicion. Timmy, I did the same thing at 461 hard choke. I took out the little lever, ground down the copper, made it nice and smooth. I'll have a look. Thank you for that insight. So this piece here, I'm just wondering if like this is making it bind, because there's the choke on. Okay, let's put it back on. It's like no problem there. So I don't think it's something in there. It's much easier. So let me do something else. Imagine just big washers, that's all those are. Must have been the Mr. Funface. I haven't been fixing inside. Yeah. Just set up a baby camera and watch the dog. Okay. Maybe that's why when the carburetor is fully back, it's just harder for this thing to engage. Okay, hang on. These nuts are not good washers here, because they're actually interfering with when the carb is fully pushed down. No. Why is it so much harder? See, I greased the heck out of this over here thinking, I remember this, because I remember thinking that that was what was binding it. But I don't think so. I'm wondering if something on here was actually binding it. I don't know. Always have these weird issues. Why is it just me? Ugh. Oh, right. Use this. So every once in a while. I think the angle of it makes it harder to pop over because it's coming from further behind almost. I had an idea earlier. Maybe put some fuel line on here just to see if that'll actually work. A little snip of old fuel line. Just to see, just for giggles. Don't know. Will that help? Let's find out. No sleep, puppy sitting, stuck. Come on. Okay. Wow. That's much easier. Timmy, I think we got it. Let's see. Will it start? Yep. I think I deserve a root beer after figuring this out. So all I did was just put a piece of rubber fuel line on the metal part. It's like the metal finger sticking out of the carburetor there. That touches the choke lever. Made it easier to set the choke. Now that may wear out, I don't know, but quick fix, yeah. Just made an interesting sound. Okay. We're just going to leave that right like that. Now we'll see if you can blow it up or not. So do you think is the fuel line hitting the linkage just right? No. I used just a piece of, it's just a piece of rubber for fuel line. I think it increases the diameter there just a little bit, and that helps the linkage touch it a little more gently rather than grab it aggressively because of the angle that it hits it at. That's what I think. Yeah, it's a 440. This is the steel 440 clone saw that I put together a while ago now. And I had to put it together multiple times because I think, this is not absolute, but I think I had a cylinder head that was cocked to one side. So it ate two bottom ends. So overall, this is a pretty pricey saw. Live and learn. Okay. Questions, comments, anything else? Don't have a whole lot else going. I think we're going to see Buck again on the channel. Hopefully we'll see him fairly soon. One day we'll get together and probably do a little build together here. Other than that, so now what? Yeah, I don't know. Now I have a root beer, just like Chris said. That's a good point. Hang on a second. Here. Got my root beer. There. All better. So yeah, this was an expensive saw, and I was actually thinking, well, I can't get it started. Maybe I just ordered an OEM carburetor, but I think it runs. So I'm gonna hand it back to him and see what happens. You know. If I can get it started like that, it needs to be tuned. Maybe if Mason comes by before this guy shows up, maybe I'll hand it to Mason and have him, you know, rail on it. So yeah, remember, this is not the 660. This is the 440. So overall, from all the kits that I ended up putting together, I still think the 660 was best bang for buck. So they need quite a few things really to run just right, but once you got it, and they do pretty good, I think. And this is just one little simple thing that was messing him up, you know. Perfect. Got my 06 going again. Hadn't been started in a while. It was embarrassed. Yeah. So what else are you going to pull up? North bench. I don't have anything to pull apart. I was supposed to be getting some other stuff here. You know, Lord knows what showing up from different sources, but I do not have anything. I'm still waiting. Now I'm waiting on Jack Small Engines. That they actually had the best price on 346, 359 carburetors, the Zama EL42s. Unfortunately, you can't get the HDA 199s anymore from Walbro. You have to get one of the other whatever, and they're not cheap. The Zama EL42s are like $90 elsewhere on the internet, but you can actually get them for $45 at Jack Small Engines. The downside is you gotta wait. So it'll be a few weeks before I get those. Can you see the Ratty Tatty 268? The 268 is out in the shed currently. I am not out in the shed. It's actually currently wearing a 20-inch Tsujihara. Nice tea watching you starting to make all the bits for 260 build tools gaskets. Nice, Mega. So yes, I'm waiting on Jack Small Engines. I'm still waiting on e-replacement parts. Still. It's got to be 3 months now. And they're not answering phone calls. So that's not good. For those that are watching and or care tools update, I have a grand total of 1 large aluminum sleeve left. So I have plenty of small sleeves, but I have 1 large aluminum sleeve left. And is Tom on here? Tom, are you here? Spoon carving with Tom. And Jay bought another 181. That's fine. I'm not going to judge. Spoon carving with Tom. Tom needed an 880 sleeve. And a 3/4 inch new rod. I think that's what that is. New rod. Three-quarter inch 660 rod. The new rod is the 076 rod. Yep. So, Tom, you got this is for you, buddy. You gonna send me your tools based on my design? Okay. So just so everybody knows, and just for the record, the tools that I sell are not patented. Anybody is welcome to use them. Just don't ask me for blueprints. That's rude. Right? Right. Good. Don't ask me for dimensions or anything like that. Not hard to make, and if you make them, then more power to you. Especially if you're across the pond like Mega is. Yeah. This goes to Tom. And I think that's going to Australia. That thing there. So the tools update is I have a batch of aluminum coming in fairly soon. They're slotted and cut to length. They just need to be cut down. So my machinist is working on that right now, and then I want to have really good stock indefinitely here. Yeah, it's the shipping that's just, it's awful. To Australia is somewhere around $40. To New Zealand is more like 70 right now. So I'm not really doing much else as far as saws go. There's not much I'm running or whatever. What else do I have? That's pretty much it that I have going. I'm also waiting on my machinist to do a little bit of magnesium welding on some 288 cases. That way I can work on putting one of those together. Another one of those together, rather. Questions, comments, anything else? Am I going to video end of season care to the cherry trees? Well, right now all I'm doing with the cherries is I'm taking off the nets. So one net is off, and then the only thing I'm doing really for the cherries at the end of the season will be doing some pruning. It'll either be, you know, November when I do that, or even February, something like that. So I'll do end of season pruning. I hate cutting the trees back. You know, just something about it, just like hate cutting the trees back. But you can send to a U.S. address that our post office uses. Nice. So I don't do much else to the cherry trees. All I am gonna do differently next year is I need to do the nets a little bit differently, definitely a little bit more robust. And the other thing I need to do is I need to spray fungicide, because unfortunately, yeah, not good. Not good things. And baking cherry pie. There aren't that many. There just aren't. I have some in the fridge now. They're half rotted. We have to cut them up and pit them. We might get one pie out of it. Bears, yeah, bears prune a little too. We do have a bear. He did not get to the cherries, thank goodness. If he had gotten tangled up in the net, that would have been an awful thing. Um, would have wrecked everything. Probably. I've not had trouble with that. We do have a bear, but I've not seen him lately. I have to net. I basically don't have any choice. What in there is catching? What's catching? I feel something. This should be perfectly smooth. The birds keep getting the black currants. Yeah. You can see that. Something's catching. Why? Yeah, if the bear gets in the net, forget it. Oh man, that'll be such a serious problem. Oh dear. Now, why when this is off? Now this is perfectly smooth. Again, put this back on. Hey, Jade. Yeah, Timmy here. I'll put in my email. Get rid of the extra ampersands, obviously. Yeah, see, it sticks. Why? Something sticky in there. I'm gonna pull this off. Right, that's not a Phillips. That's like a T25 or something stupid. Yeah, so if you want, just to give me a rough idea on the cost of the tools, depends on what saws you're doing. So tell me what saws do you plan on working on with the tools, and then I can give you an idea of what a kit that will run you based on what your needs are, you know. So I can take the throttle linkage off here. You got a Given a 200T. They're gold. At least people around here they are. This is definitely one of those types of linkages that tends to go boing on you. Now, what I want to do is I want to look for a rub spot. It really doesn't look like this. Ah, I see where. I may shave that down just a shade. Problem is I won't know if this sticks until I get it all back together. Who has an old style brake mechanism? Oh, ugh. Yeah, Timmy, if you do what I call the main kit, it's not everything, but a main kit will cover about 90% of the saws that most guys do. So everything from a 440, 372, 660, 026, 3120, 288 XP, 272. It'll do all that stuff, and that's 170 shipped to the U.S. Just to give you an idea of what you're looking at for money. If you give me a minute, I can actually pull out the stuff that you'd get with that. If you're doing kind of the more oddball stuff, then it tends to be it gets a little more pricey. Some people should not be allowed to wear gym shorts. I don't understand why not. Okay, here we go. 460, 660, 880. Okay, so you need an 880 sleeve. So that's an additional $30. So that's 200. The 461. Hang on. Need to concentrate. 461 should be included in the main kit. Do that. Okay. No, Chris, he's making fun of me. I don't think he likes how my legs look. Don't see what the problem is. I'm wearing my Sujihara t-shirt, so whatever. What could possibly be hanging that up? I can feel it. Oh, that's annoying. It's bike racing shorts. Leave little of the imagination. Not be worn in the grocery store. Flint, Michigan. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it just goes in a priority rate envelope. Priority rate envelope. So basically, even to Alaska, it's the same rate. I think we need some more off the back side here. Could end up wrecking this piece too, you know. Oh well. That's not the end of the world. Had the steel dealership right down the street. Great. Yeah, Tim, if you shoot me an email though, then I can give you an exact, you know, what you need. Do you do 576 or 242 or like the old Husky 61? Bit of ankle. That's all you get, Chris. Ankle. If that does it for you, then great. You know? I'm just filing this down to get rid of any interferences. That's all I'm doing here. The other way to do this is to obviously go with an OEM linkage, which could potentially be significantly on the pricey side. But I don't think they are. Even the 660 linkage is not that expensive. So. Probably the little grooves that sit two in the handle, maybe. This won't go. Good there. Put this on now. locked. Good. Perfect. That's it. Forget it. We're not doing it anymore. We want to take that style you're playing with right there and switch mine over to Mega. Okay, good. It's the little things on these dang saws end up making all the difference in the world, because it's something that runs and something that doesn't. You know, does it work smooth? And if you can kind of finagle these little things, oh, what a difference. Makes your life. Sticky air filter oil for my dirt bikes and be working good. Okay. Right, it runs, you know. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, good. Chris, speaking of which, Chris, do I have your contact info? Can you send me an email in case I need to send you a pie? You know, just saying. Mega, that's how it starts. That's certainly how it started for me. Is when I broke my first 455 Rancher, I got a part saw, and then I fixed the original one with the part saw, and then I looked at the part saw. I said, "Shoot, now I've got almost enough saw here to, you know," and it just kept going. It didn't stop. Don't do a lot of Huskies. No, Timmy, it's 170 shipped for the main kit. If you want an 880 sleeve on top of that, it's 200 shipped. I'll show you here. Timmy, let me show you what you get and what's for. And that way I can pull all this stuff out and I can put your name on it if you want. So, this is 30. So, this is a main kit plus the nuts and washers and handles. But you get 3 rods, M10, M12, and M14. So, and they're double enders, so you have 6 different 6 different PTO side configurations that you can of threads that you can cover, which is a lot of saws. And then flywheel, which is basically M8 and M10. That covers a lot of saws. And then your sleeves, small and large. Again, these cover an enormous amount of chainsaws. So the small sleeve actually is for the flywheel side, but for only saws with smaller bearings. So if you larger, basically 6203s and bigger, use the large side, sleeve. 6202s and smaller, for the flywheel side, you can use a small sleeve. Anyway, if you do 880s, you need an 880 sleeve also. So that's an additional $30. So this is 170. That's 200 shipped, and you get all the nuts and washers and handles and whatnot. This hobby is bad. Yeah, I know. But it's not as bad as some hobbies. And the thing about saws is they're so bite size that you can end up, you know, yeah, you end up in trouble. So Mega, you will need the smaller sleeve. If you've made one sleeve to go around a 3/4 inch rod, you'll need a smaller one for the flywheel side, especially on probably the 260s and the 440s. For the flywheel side, you need the smaller sleeve. The large one won't go in. Anything else going on, guys? Other questions, comments? Yeah, saws are so bite-sized, you end up tucking them in places, and all of a sudden you have a couple hundred saws, and you're like, whoa. What happened? Yeah, what happens is, for some saws, you actually need to have the small sleeve, otherwise it won't go in the seal pocket, and then that also then and therefore means you have to have a small rod, because otherwise it won't fit inside here. On some saws, you actually need the large sleeve, because it's got to go around a large rod. So these 3/4 inch rods, for instance, like the M14, you cannot fit a bigger thread inside 3/4 inch threaded rod. So you end up with tolerance issues. Been doing any milling? Not much, no. Nope. I was moving rock yesterday and the day before, and thanks to Buck for showing up, and my brother too, but I was moving rock. I had a pile of rock that was significant small property, but after years of digging holes and pulling rock out, I threw them all in one place, and it ended up being a really good sized pile. So we were playing with that for the last 2 days. Kind of took it easy today. Put a bar on it, grab another root beer, let's go cut some wood. Well, believe me, I got plenty of bars on plenty of stuff. I mean, we want to go cut, we can do it. Not worried. I'm just going to hand that back and be like, here, you play with it. And I've already had one root beer, so I think I'm good. And it's time for me to go chill out for the evening and get ready for tomorrow, which is back to work, which is great and terrible at the same time, as you all know. Thank God for work. So I'll say happy July 4th to everybody, even though it's the 5th, but I'll say happy July 4th. Hope everybody's safe. Timmy, send the email. Just shoot me an email. Just get rid of the extra ampersands there in that email address. Matty05@AOL.com. That's me. And the O is for Olson, not a 0. So Matty05@AOL.com. And Chris, shoot me an email if you would too with your contact info, because I don't have it. Take care, Mega. Appreciate it. My daughter's over the shoulder. She's talking about cherry pie. Okay. She can come pick cherries. I wish I had enough cherries to pick. I really, we're plumb out. Yeah, time to have a rest day. If I do make a pie, I'll let you guys know. I don't think we're going to get to it. It'd be nice, but I don't think so. So, that's it. I'll say have a great night. Everybody be safe, happy, healthy, have fun, build saws, and if anybody has any questions, they can always email me. Take care, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.